everyone, it's Laurie from Cook Scrap Craft, and today is off the board day. At the end of every month, there's a bunch of us scrapbookers who go onto Pinterest and we find something to inspire us and we create a layout based on that inspiration. So mine is a layout that was featured on the Pink Paisley website by Lisa Fonseca, and she's got some really cool hearts there. They're layered hearts, and I guess she probably machine stitched down the center of them, and then the top layer, like the sides are kind of like flapping and they're loose. They're not adhered down flat on the page. So I really liked the dimension of that. Originally, I had seen a post on my Pinterest boards with some circles. It was like a handmade wooden circular thumbprint ornaments or something like that. So I was like, oh, I want to do something with circles. And then I kind of kept going through my Pinterest board, my scrapbook and cards Pinterest board, which I'll try to have linked below if I remember. And I saw this one and I'm like, oh, I could do that with circles. So I ended up showing you just this because this is, I was inspired by circles from another post, but really what I end up doing with the circles is more inspired by this Pinterest post, which I will try to have linked directly below as well. So I used my Spellbinders Grand Caliber and 2 different sizes of circle dies to cut out the circles from this pattern paper. And I think it's all Vicky Bouton pattern paper. It's from my August Not Just for Boys Kit Club kit. So I did like a larger circle and then a smaller circle on top. And before I even really started cutting them out, I used a pencil to kind of trace where I wanted the circles to go. So I had an idea of what the design should be. And then I'm taking the stamp that also came from Not Just for Boys to kind of go around the outside just to add some extra circular elements to the page. And I'm just inking it with some Hampton Art black ink. So as you can see, the stamp gets a little wonky on me down there at the bottom, and I tried to fix it and it still didn't work, but I'm not going to let that bother me because there are no mistakes in scrapbooking. You can always get an embellishment and cover it up, right? And otherwise the stamp, I don't know why it just didn't work down there because it worked perfectly well everywhere else that I stamped it. So of course, that's the moment in scrapbooking when you're just kind of like, ugh, and you want to tear the ink pad in half. But I didn't do it. I kept my cool and just kept going, especially when you're filming and you're like, oh man, I made a mistake and I'm filming this. It happens though. It happens to the best of us. So speaking of the best of us, there's a whole list down below in the description box of all the other participants for Off the Board this month. And so definitely go check out what they created and find out what inspired them this month. So as you can see, I'm taking the smaller circle and I folded it in half. I have drawn a black line down the fold, and that is to I guess just kind of have a hint of look, because the original one was machine stitched. I don't have a sewing machine and I was definitely not going to break out a needle and thread. So just to have something that shows that it's split in half, that's why I did just the black straight line there. And so I'm just gonna cut, or I'm not gonna cut, I'm just gonna take all these small circles and fold them in half, draw the black line down the center. And then, again, because I don't have a sewing machine and I'm not going to put forth that much effort to hand sew or hand stitch, I'm just taking my mini Zing glue dots and I am sticking them, 3 of them, down the spine of where that circle was folded. Then it works pretty well. I mean, the edges do pop up. The circle glue dots are, they're small enough. Obviously, they're not that small. You're not gonna, more than just the spine of the fold, more than just the crease got stuck down. But you can still see that those circles are popped up on the edges, and that's really just all that I'm going for there. So I pretty much have every circle stuck down with either the double-sided self-adhesive squares that I like to use or the glue dots. And then here's my photo. So the photo is actually one of the last photos that I forgot to scrapbook way from 2020. And I'm glad that I'm finally getting around to doing it so I can finish up that album and call it done. So it's a photo of me and my daughter, and we were eating some lactaid cookies and cream ice cream. There had been, I think, a tropical storm that had come through, and so we didn't have power. And we didn't have power for like 3 days. And I had just bought this lactose-free ice cream. And I'm like, it's gonna melt. We have to eat it. Like I'm not wasting money on this giant container of ice cream. So the two of us sat down, we each took a spoon, and we ate as much of the ice cream as we can, or as we could. And so that's where the title of this is coming from. I had that American Crafts puffy alpha phrase sheet, and it said, "Yes, you can." And then I'm gonna take the smaller, pretty little studio letter stickers, and I'm going to create a question to go along with that. Can you eat all the ice cream? Now, I also want to add some extra circular embellishments, circular elements here. I pulled that Bella Boulevard sticker. It said "Be a Rainbow." It was a little too big. Maybe if I had, I don't know, if I didn't have the other circles, or the circles weren't like coming up on the edges there, maybe I would have been able to put that circle inside one of the smaller circles. As it was, it just wasn't going to fit. So I'm going to put it aside and save it for something else. Here I'm trying to get the placement of those small letter stickers just right. And sometimes that means I have to stick down and peel up multiple times in a row. That's just part of the process. But I do eventually get all of those letters down. There were no exclamation points or question marks on that mini alpha sheet, which was kind of disappointing. So I guess you're just going to have to assume that there is a question mark at the end of this because I wasn't able to add one. So instead, I'm actually going to add one of the gold arrows on the American Craft sheet, just so we can kind of like point in the direction of the photo. Not that you really need your focus drawn there. I think it's pretty clear to see that there's one photo on the page and that's where you're going to be looking. But yeah, I also am taking some Project Life flare buttons. One of them that I've already stuck down is yellow with a white heart. And then I have some Pebbles puffy circles in like really cool rainbow colors. And then there were also some puffy circles on the American Crafts sheet. So I did one of those and one of the Pebbles things with the flare button right underneath the title, just add some embellishments there, and I'm going to add even more embellishments as we go around the page. So let me know in the comments if you have been inspired by something on Pinterest recently. A lot of the stuff that I pin on Pinterest, especially in my scrapbook and cards board, are like other people's layouts or sketches. It's really fun, I think, to scrap lift and kind of like do your own thing with it. As you see here, I was inspired by the style of those hearts, but I didn't make the 3x3 grid the way that she did. My photo isn't in the same like place. This is not a 100% scrap lift. It's just, again, inspiration. So you don't have to, if you want to do something where you're inspired by something off your Pinterest board, it doesn't have to be a 100% scrap lift. It just, pick an element from something. It doesn't even have to be a scrapbook layout. A lot of people, I've done it in the past too, were just inspired by like a picture, the colors in a picture, or maybe a mood board, or I did one where it was like a kid's craft project using circles, actually. I think I like circles a lot. And circles are something that, I feel like I enjoy using on layouts, and maybe I don't use it as much, but it's always nice to get a different type of shape than squares and rectangles on the scrapbook layouts. I actually have a playlist here on the channel of different ways, process videos that show different ways to use circles on your scrapbook layout. So definitely check that out if I forget to link it below. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of journaling just to explain what the heck this is about, and I'm going to use another one of those gold arrows to just point over to where the journaling is going to be, because there's not really like a great spot to do journaling. I didn't have a journaling tag, but that's pretty much going to be it. I think I'm going to add some Nuvo Mica Mist in gold splatters, because why not? And also the gold kind of matches with the gold arrows from that American Crafts thing. So that's how I was inspired from Pinterest this month. Leave me a comment below if you have questions or you just want to say hi. I'm happy to answer anything that you need to know about this challenge that we do every month. I'm happy to answer anything about the products and the techniques that I used as well. And it's always fun to say hi to people in the comments too. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks so much for coming back. If you are new to the channel, I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. And if you did, that you will give this video a like and that you will consider subscribing so you get more scrapbook inspiration every week. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.